now that wasn't the focal point of the first part of that banning phase. They do ultimately ban the Karma anyways and just don't want to deal with that because that's miserable for the Quirky Alistar to play into. And now Gen G can save counterpick here for Keen.
There are some matchups that can be pretty good into the Alistar now that that one is face up. We'll see what Duro does want to take. Rom is a good one.
My list of picks I expected to see in this game.
But it does make sense. It does a number to the Alistar. So this is like it's a pretty good Braum angle. Actually, I can kind of imagine Wadid and Orcs backstage being like, man, the Braum angle is insane.
It also really hurts Zeus' blind top pick because the level 1 is insane. If the Braum's up there, it can be really frustrating. Or if the Braum is just pushing through the mid lane and trying to set up a play around Raptors, for example, it gives Canyon some extra power.
Olaf.
That's the safest blind, I'd say.
Okay.
So now, what is the answer to the Rise? No Ahri? Is it just Annie in this draft? This is not a pick-based comp. Getting access to the Ezreal or the Rise with Annie sounds so hard in this draft. They have the Vi to set it up or follow up on it, but...
The Vi, the Pulverize as well. I do think there is a lot of layering of CC you can add to the Annie, but the Akali will be the choice. Zeka going back to his signature champion here.
I'm not sold on it, and I love the Zahin into the Olaf here.
Yeah, this has been one of the other options, right? It's been Jax or Zahen. They're the two choices that players have gone with into this pick. And the Zahen is like, the idea is you just stack up your passive, and then while you're reviving, the Ragnarok wears off, and then you can just kind of win.
The Braum has so much setup in this draft.
It's insane, the value of that champion. And into spikes, and if HLE get off the ground running, things could work out. And let's see whether we can make it to a game 3 with an HLE win as we get under the rift. All right, HANWHA fans are so loud, man. It is crazy.
And we're on the Gen G side.
Yeah, and they are still absolutely deafening. And you can imagine there is certainly a degree of desperation now, especially after seeing this champion select. I think something's going to have to go really right for HLE, the start of this game, to make sure that they're feeling okay moving into this next one. Zeus going to land the first undertow as Keen, I think, just pretty happy to trade with this Olaf right now.
We have not seen Gumayusi play this Cork in a really long time.
That's a flash very early from Keen.
Zahin's not very good at the early part of the laning phase. Yeah. Zeus didn't even use his Ghost.
Ooh, not going to find any of those buttons as Gen G going to be able to give HLE a little bit of a freebie here as they wander up the lane. Fast bomb now on cooldown just for a little bit, but Duro going to be spotted by that one. And it looks like Gen G will just retain control.
Yep, there's just nothing you can do as Delight, unfortunately, at level 1. Just going to have to sit back and catch the wave as best as you can. Akali also not going to enjoy the early game. So the top side, the very, very tippy top, is going well for HANWHA Life, but for else, a bit of an early deficit into Gen G's composition.
Yeah, this is not one of the champions that we've seen Keen play all that often. Zeus is going to shove this wave in. Keen going to be happily underneath the turret, and at least that's going to help out. But Zeus behind the turret already, as he does get knocked up, throws down a ward. And this is going to be a really nice back angle for the Olaf.
Basically for free.
Yep.
No way for the Pantheon the path down to the bottom lane to impact this. Meanwhile, the Vi is topside. Zeka going to be so careful in this early laning phase. Chovy doesn't have TP, but he is going to have so much control. And if you get rooted, you're in serious, serious trouble. So has to sit back, clear this wave as best as he can while minimizing the damage taken until he hits level 6. But we talked about all the different reasons why the comp is good in team fights, but the laning phase here is another place where HLE just really don't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
Outside of the Olaf, but that's temporary.
And now we do have the Pantheon taking the Rift Scuttler on the bottom side of the map. So bottom side control will retain here for Gen G. Keen does have to be careful.
Zeus is trying to send this wave back away from Keen so that he gets set up for a gank, but it's just not happening.
Oh, Gumayusi. He loses this one, it'd be his first on the Corki. Having a good year on this champion so far, but 0-1 for Zeka on the Akali is kind of crazy. Zeus not being able to pick up a win on the Olaf either, as Delight's also tried his hand at this cow a couple of times and hasn't quite figured it out. So kind of interesting that we do see such low win rates for HLE on these champs. That's ignoring the fact that Kanavi's 9-1 on Vi, which is, you know, just one of those things.
He lost a lot early. It's been a while since Guma's played this Corki, but you said very good at it. And it is very strong with the style of composition they are playing. As they are starting to turn this lane around a little bit here.
How did Duro miss everything there with that Winter's Bite? That was very impressive. There were a lot of things that he could have hit it, but does not manage to do so. Chovy running around here in this mid lane. Zeka is going to go into the fog of war for a moment. Keen almost through that flash cooldown, so might be out of the woods momentarily. But there's a Shuriken backflip for Zeka. Finds a good trade onto Chovy.
Chovy needs to be very wary of that level 6 timing.
Yeah.
As that potion is being chugged through for both of these players right now. Zeka maintains health advantage. One more combo like that with Electrocute and the ultimate, and Chovy will find himself in the death chamber. They're going to take the time to back at the same time. That's just a wave advantage here for Chovy in the farm. But Zeka's happy to be able to play the game.
And Chovy just wants to get towards a catalyst, right? You feel a whole lot better once that item does come on through, but it won't be there just yet. Just have a couple of rocks in the inventory. As now Gumayusi, Delight, able to get control of this wave and are pushing back for the moment. You have to be a little bit careful if the Winter's Bite do start to land. Then a long lane is a scary prospect. Delight blocks the Mystic Shot there. Don't know whether he necessarily wanted to, but it is going to be Ruler able to lock down these minions. Gen G keep the CS completely even.
And this call for Ruler, tier is stacking. You know, they're just sitting back and going through this early game with the advantage they have already in lane, just saying, we're on the way to winning more. It's up to you. Ball's in your court, HANWHA. What kind of play are you going to make? They play too far forward here. Canyon has a potential opportunity. He's got Flash and Stun at the ready. Heal already out for Delight to make sure they can get away from this. And this ward will be cleared by Canyon.
Well, Chovy wanted to put Zeka in prison there. Isn't going to be able to do so.
Navi, level 6.
Yeah, level 6 available here for Zeka as well. So can unleash that perfect execution. There's the Vault Breaker flash as Kanavi just ults on top of the rise. He runs though. He flashes. Zeka's almost dead to the turret as he goes into the shroud, but Chovy had already ran away. That Ghost getting all the value, and we still don't have a first blood.
Zeka was so close to actually triggering that second turret shot, and there would have been no reprieve. But he is able to get over the wall without flashing there, so has flash advantage over Chovy now. We'll be able to rush back to lane here, but he is 20 CS down, and a whole wave is going by the wayside with Chovy's great escape there into the Raptor pit. So much committed there. A flash for Kanavi on the extension of the Q does land, but they don't have the burst necessary to kill the Rise, and Chovy is just laughing all the way to the bank. He generates such a huge lead. Despite being flashless here, I think Kanavi is going to have to make a second pass to make this worth it.
Yeah, and so now he doesn't have his Summoner Spell. Like you say, that is certainly going to be something that HLE could capitalize on, but it's not going to be a Vault Breaker flash that can actually take him down unless they time it very specifically. And so I think that Chovy should be a lot safer this time around, even without that flash up and available, unless Delight comes in with a Pulverized flash or something like that to try and take him down. Catalyst, who we're talking about, is also going to be completed here as Canyon will find this control ward as he looks to try and start up this dragon. Duro moving in, and will just give some farm towards Chovy here, and Canyon starts the dragon. So, Olaf moving down towards the bottom side. Canyon spotted here by the Scryer's Bloom.
Lane swapping top. And they are going to try to make a fight happen here on this dragon, but I just don't think they can get access here. Zeus isn't Olaf with Ghost Flash and ult, so he's going to be the main character of this so they can make it happen. He's running in.
Yeah, Canyon going to be taken down incredibly low to start this one off. Canyon, he flashes out of the way, but he's still going to go down. Ruler in the backline. Delight will be taken, and Ruler flashes, but there's the flash to follow. All of Gen G are routed, and the dragon is even taken by HANWHA Esports. That's a massacre, and they're now in such a good spot.
The Olaf flank play worked out. The lane swap to Guma top. I mean, sure, he's not involved in the play, but he's still farming topside safely into the Zahin. And this was a collapse onto Canyon. They wanted to burst him down to get the Drake, but they got so much more. Now we're going to see Delight with his unsealed TP come up here to augment this push from Guma, make sure he's safe. So Zeus here, he goes notably onto Canyon, not Ruler, knowing that Ruler has the ability to buy space here, but the follow-up from Delight gets the double knock-up. Zeka's the one who deletes Canyon. Delight walks back, ends up dying here, but it does not matter. They ended up picking up 3 kills plus Dragon on the play, and Chovy can just watch from the mid lane and do nothing else. He's still up 20 CS in this game, but the lead has shrunk with Zeka picking up that kill.
Yeah, and the fact that Chovy didn't actually Realm Warp in or anything like that, I think Gen.G kind of knew that that play was just kind of doomed after Zeus made his way in.
It was a very expensive play summoners-wise for HLE. They had to use the Ghost, the Flash, Zeka's Flash, also there for the follow-on to Canyon, but I think they're very happy with the end result.
Yeah, and a 1-0-2 Olaf is going to have a way better time into this Zahin as well.
It's a gold lead after this plate as well.
Oh, man. So that is actually evening out the plates at the same time. So Zeka now, with that extra kill and assist like you were talking about, that is going to be enough to even out just the CS money, as the plate money is then equalized. So Zeus does see the ward, but isn't actually able to clear it in time, as Kane will just walk away from this wave, probably looking for his first back, as, yeah, a Ruby Crystal probably not going to be enough in face of that Hex plate.
Guma here, 1v2, as we see a wraparound from Zeka and Delight. They are pinging.
Yeah, this angle is very scary.
Yeah, they just put deep wards, and they're not going to actually go for the full wraparound, but there were a lot of pings from Gen.G. They were like, okay, something's not right, and I think we know where he is, as they have a lot of vision all across the map now, HANWHA Life. Like, they have a small gold lead here, but look at all the wards topside, the wards they put deep into the jungle of Gen.G. They kind of have map hacks right now for this game state here, so really effective use of that control here by Zeka and Delight. I actually really like how they put this one together. Delight's still got 2 control wards in his inventory after this back as well.
Kane and Zeus fighting once again, as Kane not going to have to flash away from the Olaf this time around. Not quite at the Trinity Force just yet, but he's getting closer, as we can see.
Ruler's isolated here, and Kanavi's on the bottom side of the map with Flash and ult. Braum is rushing over. Looks like they're not actually going to be able to get to him before the Braum rejoins, but this means Canyon is vulnerable, although he also will escape. So does Kanavi go for a 3rd target here? I don't think so.
Chovy in a really awkward spot, but the Vault Breaker misses as Chovy walks in a weird way. And so Kanavi not going to be able to lock him down. Duro is going to be able to slow up Delight, and so they realize just how much danger they might have been in there.
Kind of shocked.
Gen.G really kind of escaped with the skin of their teeth there, as Chovy now going to have to walk away from Kanavi again.
He's got his flashback. I'm kind of shocked that HLE didn't try to make a play onto Ruler there without Braum there. I guess they didn't necessarily know exactly how close Braum was, but I think there was a window of time where they could have tried to make something happen onto Ruler, or at least force him to walk away from turret and deny him some farm. But instead, they kind of get the whole wraparound. They get all that vision control back in the bottom side of the map here, though, because that was just cleared by Canyon and Duro, and now it's back up again. So they have full information on the bottom side of the map, as well as top side here, where this Rift Herald is spawning in 3 minutes. So it's a ways away from that, but they have a lot of information.
Yeah, it's going to be the Drake that should be the next fight here between both of our squads. And Gen.G, I think, probably going to have to play this one a little bit more carefully this time around, especially with Unbreakable Will on Delight. He can actually be a real frontline in this one, as Duro going to slow down Delight as he tries to make his way in. The Unbreakable there, blocking a fair bit of damage as he has to flash away. And there's the Vault Breaker flash from Kanavi. Ruler coming on over. He's going to look to try and slow down Kanavi here as the stun does come down. And there's the ulti. Kanavi may have overextended. True Shot Barrage comes in, and the Arcane Shift does get him out of the way. Now Delight's in trouble. Ruler's hitting everything as the flash comes through. And there's the Realm Warp. Finally, Delight throws down the ulti as Canyon was looking to block off the escape, and the headbutt is going to be futile, and Canyon will lock up the kill.
Disaster for Kanavi! He gets nothing out of this, nothing at all, and Guma tries to focus on to Duro there in the end and does not get him either. He escapes with, it's got to be like sub 15 health there on the bottom side of the map.
Man, that must have been so frustrating.
What a backfire here.
Yeah.
7 HP, I'm told, so half of what I thought. So initially, he comes over here, gets flash, and then Kanavi follows over the wall to get the extension here, but then doesn't ult because he wants to maybe get something more, and then Duro gets this jump onto Ruler, stand beside, and then ults Kanavi. Ruler does the damage here, and then he flashes, or rather, Arcane shifts the knock up there from the light.
Instant revenge denied.
No, I don't think, yeah, denied indeed. And Guma couldn't get the kill there onto Duro, so they just get nothing. Gen.G get a gold lead. They get control over the left side of this Dragon Pit. And now Kanavi is flashless.
There are a lot of ultimates available here for HLE, though. No Ragnarok, I don't think, for Zeus for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what that was about. As Kanavi does pull out this dragon.
He's going to roll quest TP top, and he's not going to be involved in this play. Keen already TP'd as well, so not going to be any top laners here, but attempted bit of a steal away here from Ruler isn't going to succeed, but at least it'll annoy Zeka.
Yep, they do spot out that this dragon was taken, and it will be a Cloud Soul this game as well. So super fast cow available.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about that.
Yep, some Usain beef on the rift.
Like that one.
Yeah, it's a new one. I was trying it out. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Keen, up here in this top lane, I'm very intrigued as to why the Ragnarok did have to be used. As now Chovy could be in trouble. Perfect execution from Zeka. The flash, he just waits for it. As there's the solo kill from the Zeka Akali. Can Gen.G find an angle, though, in response? And it looks like HLE will not give it to them.
Hex Flash here for Delight to get back over the wall, but I don't think they're going to be able to chase down or find anything here. Zeus has his ult back. But they're just going to have to be happy with the kill on the rise in the bottom lane. Gold dead even again in this game, but HLE, with that bottom side play here, now have double dragon towards a Cloud Soul. Well, watch this from Zeka's perspective. He actually gets hit by that Q here in Shroud. Comes in, flips back around, waits for the flash for the perfect execution. Flashes just to be safe here and make sure he doesn't pick up an extra turret. I don't think he necessarily needed to do that, but better safe than sorry.
Exactly. I think maybe he deserved the flash, you know, as Rift Herald not getting taken down low. Trish Barrage doesn't exactly do too much here as Keen
gets Locket.
Yeah, looking to rotate over. Zeka's teleported in. Doesn't have the ulti up just yet, but it looks like this Rift Herald is going over to HLE, and they have a monopoly. Every single objective. Neutral objective
including
has gone their way.
Yep. That's a pretty large set of advantages here. Gen.G have been able to win some scraps. They had a defensive play there on the bottom side, which was a disaster, which is why Ruler is the lead, the only lead that Gen.G have, really. 1,300 gold, the advantage there.
Is Chovy dead again? Well, Realm Warp is not going to do something.
No CC on this Akali.
And, yeah, deny, so he will be fine.
He doesn't have Realm Warp now, but I don't think he really cares with no objectives up for a while. So just greeted a little bit here and was able to utilize that ultimate to get away with it. Ruler is getting closer and closer to 2 items here, very scary. Has that coal cashed in. His tier is stacked up to 300 pretty much. And so we're looking at, as Gen.G here, you're kind of like, all right, we're about to start being relevant where we can actually control team fights, we can control space, we can poke with this Ezreal. But right now HLE have been first to objective, and Gen.G have been unable to respond just because their comp isn't truly online. There is Manamune finished here for Ruler, about to transform.
Yeah, big deal item spike to come on through here as Gumayusi does hit level 11. He's getting closer, but isn't quite there towards the Muramana himself, as the tier actually requires 100 stacks plus in order for that one to be finished. So it's going to take a little while to equalize this Ezreal. This Rise, though, is going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Shuriken backflip going to come on through, and he is very dead.
Flashy, the way he set that one up to go behind for the flip. And Ruler's going to take this turret out in exchange, by the way, first turret of the game, so this lead gets bigger.
Yeah, that's something. And Gen.G retain a gold lead, right? Largely because of the fact that they were able to take down that turret just then. Zeus is going to get knocked up. There's the Ragnarok, as now the ulti to buy some time, get those stacks back, and Keen will be able to find it. Now the Pantheon comes in, as Duro says no to Zeus, and Delight says no to Duro. So Zeus will stay alive.
And all the while,
their top laner.
Just a little bit of extra push for Zeka. Not really a strong cross map here. As Kanavi's going to come over, Zeus is going to be fine. They want to defend this turret, but they just really don't have the tools. We do see Zeka rotating over slowly here, and Keen's just going to leave and respect. But Gen.G are starting to really win a lot of map control right now, despite the fact that Chovy died. What they got in exchange was so much more valuable. They got that mid turret for Ruler, they got so much damage done on this top turret, got the summoner out of Zeus, got his ult out as well, which I feel like is a pretty good trade for the Zahin right now. And just like that, you know, HLE, sure, they have the gold lead, they got that extra time with the pushing Akali. This comp is scaling, and it's soon ready to fight here for this next dragon, which would be the first dragon of the game for Gen.G if they could turn the tides here.
Yeah, I think they almost have to be able to take this next Drake. Duro goes down a control ward and discovers a bunch of bad guys. A little bit of a jump scare there, but the Braum will be fine.
This time, the Pantheon is staying with Chovy. He's going to prevent any sort of other sort of follow-up gank onto Chovy as he tries to farm this one out right now. Even, I think, took some of the Krugs from Canyon there, if my look on the minimap was correct. And we're heading to this next Dragon Atlas. I mean, 15 seconds to spawn. Right now, HLE don't really have prio for it.
It is Gen.G with a fair bit of vision, but not that much around the pit itself. Rift Herald does come on through. The poke is landing.
Just going to use the Herald for prio, it looks like here. This turret will go down, and there's a potential dive angle, actually, when it does.
It definitely is. Look at Zeko trying to find the Shuriken backflip. Doesn't land it, though. Zeus also from the other angle. These Void Mites just spew out of the Rift Herald as they do manage to take down that turret. That will then give them an inside track towards Soul Point. And Gen.G, like, guys, we can't let them just take everything, can we?
I don't think with Herald there, they really had much of a choice. Zeka's going to come up here to try to defend this turret. And he also has TP if there was going to be a big fight for Gen.G. And Gen.G are trying to maybe make a play topside to augment this push, but they don't really need to. Chovy had his Realm Warp. He was pushing up there, but they just let Keen take the turret. So it's a turret exchange for Soul Point here. And Gen.G have so much money they've picked up on this Ezreal, right? The Akali is significantly ahead, but isn't necessarily going to have the same consistent damage output as the Ryze when the Ryze gets later on into the game. So right now, HANWHA in full control. But there will be, if Gen.G win this game, a pretty significant turning point. It could be right now for Zeus as he hides and waits for Ruler.
Yeah, Ruler is going to have to Arcane Shift away. Does have Barrier, does have Flash, uses the Flash first and gets himself out.
That was a pretty tricky play.
Olaf
jump scare, that one. Very scary. I think that might have wanted to be on the list of scariest champions I wouldn't want to run into in the brush. If you're on Ezreal, who does lose his Flash as a result.
Looking forward to that one on LCK Feud.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, imagine Dagon somewhere just writing that down. As Keen going to take a 5-point strike here, looking to try and defend this outer turret, but Zeka just getting more and more money, killing spree on the Akali. And I do think that Gen.G are kind of okay with like Ruler getting ahead and like this control that they've kind of got, but Zeka's Akali can warp games, and I am very frightened with the state that he is in for Gen.G's chances moving forward here in this game, because I don't think anyone is safe on the Rift.
I just didn't think this comp was going to get off the ground the way that it has, right? The fact that Chovy was hard focused down by Kanavi and Zeka, and there was no reprieve, there was no answer from Canyon. It was a bit surprising to me, especially with how that failed dive went bottom side. Is now Keen. We'll need some friends here. Pantheon does have ult, and Duro's here with ult of his own. This is going to be a tricky dive, but they have so many members, but they do not commit. I think this is the right call here for HLE.
Yeah, the Zahin is a difficult one to lock down. Duro could be a target, but he does manage to at least stand beside Keen for a while. That's a lot of damage, and the ulti from this Zahin is massive. Still, the Corki locks up the Pantheon, and they are just too tanky. Kanavi somehow surviving, and Keen respawns just to die again, and somehow Ruler gets the snipe onto the vault-breaking Vi, and that means that they're not able to turn onto the Baron. That's actually kind of a big deal.
It was a big deal, in fact, and like you were saying, Ruler was surfing around the edge of that fight. He was fishing, because he knew that with the time bought from the Zahin ultimate there, Zeka? I don't know.
I don't know, Ruler, as Zeka's going to get hunted down. Okay, do we have another Arcane Shift? The answer is no. If that backflip had a hit, Ruler was dead.
He had Barrier, and he was like ready to press it, but yeah, I don't know. Into this 2-item with tier 3 Sork Pen boots, if he was going to survive through all of that. As Duro just steps a little bit too far forward here, a lot is used to kill him, and Keen gets the Giga ult in this team fight. That's probably the biggest Zahin ult we've seen here in the LCK, but it's just not enough. As Ruler is surfing on the edge trying to find an angle, gets pushed out by Zeka, and then still threads the needle here onto Kanavi when he goes back in, predicting where he'd be, because that's where his his teammate was where he was obviously going to land on. So good play there from Ruler to picking up the kill to just maintain that gold lead. It's shrinking though, with Guma picking up 2.
Yep, Endless Hunger now done for the Ezreal as well. 3 items, feels pretty good. He's done the most damage of the game again. Was also highest damage on the Jhin earlier on. But does need to be careful because this Ezreal is still very susceptible to the Akali. And Zeka now moves to 3-0 and 3. Zeus going to get pushed away momentarily here by Keen. But should be all right. And
the next dragon
just trying to farm over and over again.
It's such an early Cloud Soul in this game, like because it's a 3-stack here for HLE, and they got the first dragon fairly early. We're looking at a 25-minute spawning soul, and if they can get prio for it, they've got all the tools, right? Everyone has a flash. Ruler does not have flash, notably, to potentially team fight to deny this. So Gen G are going to have to make tough decisions here. You know, they don't have mid prio. Are they just going to simply give this one up and give a free Cloud Soul to this Akali Vi? Olaf!
Do you then try to just take a Baron in response, claim map control, and then try and in 6 minutes after this Drake take a Elder or something like that?
Yeah, it's a really tough macro call to make, and none of the choices are particularly good, but trying to fight when you're this far behind this Akali into prio that you don't have.
Oh, very risky. Yeah, does have the Unbreakable. Just Braum things. He will be fine.
They're not playing for Dragon. They're playing for a pick pre-Dragon here with this side angle for Zeka that he's on. But I think Gen G are pretty aware of where he is right now.
Yeah, Keen actually looking for a little bit of a recall as they get a control ward in this topside brush. And now, Kanavi and Zeus pull this Dragon out, and a teleport does bring Keen in. Stridebreaker at the ready, and does have that big shield as well.
Ruler's flash back up.
Yep, I don't think they want to let this Drake go over to HLE as Gumayusi with the blast cone. In goes the Vibe, and she just explodes. Zeka gets into the backline as well as Ruler's the target, but he gets over the wall. Zeus gets on top of him, and down go both of the carries. It's a double for the Akali, and all of them are falling. Zeus, sorry, Canyon just ults away. And yeah, not going to be a quadra for the Zeka here, but they'll take a soul, and I think that is just guaranteed 3 games.
That looks like it to me, Atlas. And man, did Ruler play it well. I mean, what else could he have done? His flash comes up right before the fight, and he gets pounced on by Kanavi. Kanavi turns off this Drake so quick. He instantly flashes to pull away from the ult there to buy space, gets over the wall, pops his barrier, but is burst down. And then here it looks like maybe the Zahin can take over, but then big knock-up to come through from Delight to make sure this fight is cleaned. Watch Zeka, he was waiting the whole time. He goes in the same time as Kanavi does onto Ruler. They are pinging him to death. And it goes down. Although it's just nothing Ruler could do there. That cross was too difficult to deal with, and Genji couldn't just sit back and wait, because otherwise it's just so... And as you've been saying, you can hear how loud these HANWHA fans are tonight.
Zeka 6-0 and 4 on the Akali. And now, nice pulverize. Canyon gonna get delivered into the back line. Zeka finds the angle, cease and desist under Chovy. He's taken out before he can realm off away. And Ruler just gets swarmed by HANWHA Esports. It's a clean ace. And I think that we're very swiftly gonna be getting to that 3rd game.
One of the fastest games that we've seen in the Legend group this season. 27 minutes and they are knocking on the door. They get Cloud Soul, they group as 5, and they run Gen G off the map.
Oh my goodness.
This is the kind of 6-game night that I'm here for, Atlas.
Absolutely. The first one an absolute joy, and this one is a pleasure as HLE remind Gen G who just stole their MSI.